Hello, this has been Sports Talk, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 best MLB catchers of 2012 so far. I really went on this whole top 10 thing by not just the average, but also the defenses, how catchers really are that good hitters. Obviously, as you get lower in the top 10, you will see the better hitters. But to top it off on top 10 is Jered Saltalamacchia. He's played in 79 games, the average is 233, but he has done a lot for the Red Sox. What they have done, and a little what they have done, which isn't that much, but 46 RBIs with 61 hits, and he is leading the league of 4 catchers in home runs with 20 home runs, I believe. And he definitely, I thought, made the top 10 list, not just for his offense, but more so because he came back. He came from a team that basically gave up on him from the Texas Rangers, and really just showed and helped the Red Sox out a little bit. So my number 9 guy is Josh Thole from the New York Mets. I picked him more for his defense. He is catching the best knuckleballer in the league by far, and R.A. Dickey. He's played in 71 games, averaged 271, only 14 RBIs and only 60 hits, which isn't bad. 60 hits isn't terrible, but not as good as some of these guys. But I really thought he does deserve, or he doesn't deserve, he is in the top 10, mostly because of his defense. My number 8 guy is LA Dodgers catcher A.J. Ellis. He really kind of filled in a little bit for the absence of Matt Kemp when he went out with a hamstring injury. He's played in 80 games, so he's pretty. He has a lot of stamina. Average 279, 29 RBIs, which isn't too good, but 73 hits. He is more farther down the lineup, but he is a solid catcher, and probably going to be their catcher for a couple more years, I would think. My number 7 guy is the guy that I always thought doesn't really deserve to be as good as people think, but this year he's done pretty good, and the more that I look at it, I think he is a pretty good catcher. Atlanta Braves catcher Brian McCann. He has played in 80 games, 240 average, which isn't nearly any of his best, but I think he heats up more towards the end of the season, with 54 RBIs and 71 hits. I think he's a good catcher defensively and offensively. He reminds me a lot of Mike Napoli. He does come out a lot more offensively at the end of the season like Mike Napoli does, so I guess that's when we need him the most, but I think it'd be helpful for him to come out now. But my number 6 guy is Miguel Montero. He's had a very quiet season, I think. Well, he hasn't had a quiet season, but Diamondbacks really did need him. He's played in 87 games, 282 average, 58 RBIs and 85 hits. I think if I was looking at it, and he definitely is one of the best catchers in MLB, definitely. Really good catcher. Made the All-Star game last year, and I think he could have been maybe up there for the All-Star final getter for the catchers. Obviously wasn't, but moving on, that's my 6. My number 5 guy is Orioles catcher Matt Wieters. A lot of people talk highly about him. I think he is played in 91 games, 3rd most in MLB for catchers. 283 average, which is great for 93 games. Orioles need someone like him with that bat and his ability to hit. 49 RBIs, 79 hits. I think he's obviously that just kind of messed up what I just said, but they do need someone like him, especially taking the weight off of Adam Jones. So, my number 4 guy, I think, has had a really, really good season. I think he should have been in the All-Star game, definitely, but he wasn't. I don't know why. I'm surprised. But I think it's AJ Perzynski, Chicago White Sox catcher. 83 games, 287 batting average, 50 RBIs and 84 hits. He's had a great season. He was on fire in the first half, and he just kept hitting. He never stopped. Definitely someone that kind of had a very opposite season last season, with in the past few seasons not having that good of a season. Really looked like he did when the White Sox won the World Series a couple of years ago. Number 3, I have Yadiar Molina. I think he's the best defensive catcher by far in MLB. 89 games, 304 average, 51 RBIs, and 101 hits. He's a good hitter. He's gotten to be a lot better hitter than he has in the past. And if the Cardinals want to make a run for it, then I definitely think they could, with the help of Yadiar Molina. They need to keep adding more pieces to replace Albert Pujols. So, my number 2 is Minnesota Twins catcher Joe Mauer. 93 games, 328 average, 48 RBIs, and 113 hits. I think he's come back very, very strong since he was a couple past few years. I used to think he was extremely overrated, but just this year is really overshined all his bad years. And I think this guy is definitely the best American League catcher. But first guy, for the best catcher in the league, the best catcher in MLB is definitely Carlos Ruiz of the Philadelphia Phillies. By far, best season, best catcher, one of the best players in MLB right now, one of the best batting averages in MLB. He's actually fighting with Andrew McCutchen for the best batting average. He's played 93 games, so he's tied for the most in the majors with Joe Mauer. 342 average, 57 RBIs, and 104 hits. I think this guy has definitely helped the Phillies well. Definitely didn't help them enough because of their last place, but he really stepped in as much as he could while Ryan Howard and Chase Utley were out. I don't think Chase Utley does a lot, but I think with Ryan Howard and the home runs he can hit, I think Carlos Ruiz really stepped up and did a lot. Some mentions I have that the players that I think have done good are Ryan Doumit. I didn't put him in there, mostly because he's usually batting DH. And if he's not batting DH, he's catching, and Joe Mauer's at first. And Justin Morneau's at DH. It's all confusing in Minnesota, but he's really helped the Minnesota Twins. And since Pitcher Pirates didn't re-sign him, mostly because they were, I think, more because they thought that they could get another veteran catcher for a lot cheaper, and he's at his end of his career, but he's really shown, and the Minnesota Twins already signed him to a 2-year contract again, extension. So another guy is Ryan Hanigan, Cincinnati Reds. Anyone who catches Aroldis Chapman deserves to be up there. He probably has to ice his hand after every outing, but this guy is solid, plays a lot of games, he's a decent hitter. I think he's getting better and better each season, so younger guy, so he definitely has a lot of time. My other guy is JP Arencibia from the Toronto Blue Jays. I think this guy is extremely tough. He won't quit if he's hurt. He just keeps going. Obviously, he got injured, I think his hand or his wrist or something like that, and I think he's really definitely a long-term option for the Blue Jays at the catcher position. Another guy, my last guy, is a Milwaukee Brewers catcher, Jonathan Lucroy. He's injured, he's on a rehab assignment, but I think he's definitely, Milwaukee loves him, the Brewers love him. Been to their games, and everyone loves him. I think if he didn't get injured, things would have been a little bit different with their position in their standings right now. In the standings right now, Central, maybe not a ton, but I think they would have done a little bit better with him. They had a lot of moves with George Natras or some, I don't even know how his name anymore. Maldonado, I think they both have kind of, Maldonado's done alright, but not nearly as good as Lucroy does. The disappointments of the season, I think, are, first off, is Kurt Suzuki of the Oakland A's. I think he's not as good as I think he could be. I think he's definitely one of the most underrated guys, but this year I don't think he's underrated at all. I think he just hasn't done good. His batting average is .213. He should be batting, I think, near 280s, 290s. He's not the best hitter, but he could be batting better. And he's a good defensive catcher. That's really the thing that gets me. I think he's one of the best defensive catchers. But another guy is Nick Hudley, the San Diego Padres. I think if he wants to be traded and get on a better team to even get a chance, he needs to start batting better and playing better. I think he might be part of that. He's getting a little frustrated with being on a bad team for his whole career, but you never know. I can't speak for people, especially when they're major league players. So another guy is Russell Martin. He's played a lot of games, and he hasn't produced at all really for the Yankees. 182 average, which is terrible, and I think he's definitely really gone downhill since he left the LA Dodgers and went on that one final All-Star game, I think, that I remember of, and when it was at Yankee Stadium. The last guy I think is the biggest disappointment, along with the biggest disappointment team, is Miami Marlins catcher John Buck. When he left the Orioles for him, I used to think he was one of the best catchers. Definitely not terrible seasons, 169 average, almost as bad as Nick Hudley's, which is at 166, but knowing John Buck, it will probably go down even more. And being on the Miami Marlins just decreases his confidence, so. But, thanks for watching. All the top 10 guys and the mentions will be down in the description box, so if you didn't hear everything, then I'll just put it down there. So thanks for watching.